I miss the way you make me feel. Remember how this line from Castle on the Hill carried a distinct feeling of nostalgia, so intertwined with Ed Sheeran's life experiences?
Oh yes, it's as if you can see the scenes of his childhood, friendships, and young love unravel before your eyes. It's a bittersweet journey down memory lane.
True. What makes his lyrics captivating is that despite their simplicity, they are packed with emotional depth and vivid imageries. He has this way of transforming his personal experiences into universal narratives that resonates with his listeners on a deeper level.
Right, and this, in essence, forms the root of our discussion today, because Sheeran's lyrics are essentially a reflection of his life journey, from a street performer to a universally acclaimed artist.
Agreed. His journey is phenomenal. It's not all that uncommon for musicians to rise to stardom, but holding on to that stardom while continuously producing relatable and innovative music is a mammoth task that Sheeran has evidently mastered.
And not just his journey, but the way he uses musical structures, rhythm, and storytelling combined has significantly shaped the modern pop scene.
Let's not forget the global appeal of his music, which is testament to his lyrical prowess. I still can't get over how Shape of You broke streaming records globally.
Let's take a moment to appreciate Ed Sheeran's journey. From his days as a street performer to reaching the pinnacle of stardom, it's a story of immense passion and resilience. Strumming his guitar in the streets of London, his compelling tunes resonated with the passers-by, and, little did they know, a global superstar was in the making.
Indeed, it wasn't just the streets that listened to his captivating narratives, but as word spread, it quickly captured the attention of influential industry figures. I still remember hearing the news of his signing with Asylum Records. It was a monumental moment for him and his fans.
It was breathtaking to watch his transformation, like savoring a finely crafted cocktail. The transition from playing to a handful of people to selling out stadiums was no small feat. Can you imagine performing in front of thousands of people who know your lyrics by heart? It's astonishing.
He really went from singing to the silent stars on cold London streets to roaring crowds in packed-out arenas worldwide. That's resilience and a great testament to his craft.
Definitely. But I'm curious, how did he manage to keep his music so personal and authentic amidst the colossal fame and transformation?
That's the charm of Ed Sheeran, Evelyn. Despite the fame, he remained true to his roots, to his storytelling. He poured his life into his songs, making them not just melodies but moving narratives that speak to everyone.
And perhaps that's why his music resonates so deeply. As his fame grew, so did the authenticity and emotional depth in his lyrics, reflecting his own journey. Evelyn, you asked earlier about how Ed kept his music personal despite his rapid fame. I think it's a great question that ties well into our discussion now. Ed's story reminds me of a startup journey, in a sense. From street busking to global stardom, it's a wild ride, isn't it?
Absolutely, that climb to success didn't come easy. Just like in design, the art of making something endearing, genuine requires great dedication. His story is similar in a sense. For me, it's quite reminiscent of my journey as a designer. The countless concepts, the revisions that never saw the light of day. It's tireless work. But when the finished product, or in Ed's case, song resonates with the masses, it's really something.
I think I get it, Jiwoo. You know, that's similar to crafting cocktails. It's not just about the final drink, but how each ingredient, every measure, they all add up to create a unique concoction. And Ed's music, it's just like that. Each lyric and melody, they collectively embody the journey he has undertaken.
That's an apt comparison, Evelyn. And just as a crafted cocktail or a design are subjective to tastes, Ed's music might not sit well with everyone. But his commitment to his craft and consistent authenticity, they've surely played a role in his widespread acclaim. I wonder, how significant do you think is this tenacity in the industry?
It's indeed crucial, Chris. Like any other industry, music too demands a certain level of grit, the courage to stick through even in the face of failure. And Ed's journey truly embodies this relentless spirit.
That's a great insight, Jiwoo. Tenacity, authenticity, and know-how, these are what made Ed Sheeran a global phenomenon. You know what's fascinating? Ed Sheeran's first album, Plus, It was raw, heartfelt, and there was a heavy influence of folk. Comparing that to his recent album, Pas du Same Equals, you can see how he evolved his music style.
Exactly, Evelyn. One can witness his experimentations with different genres. He's not just a one-trick pony, is he?
Absolutely not. There's this fusion of styles. Each album is like a new cocktail mix, just waiting to surprise you.
And besides styles, there's also a thematic shift. Starting with love, heartbreak, then moving to nostalgia and self-reflection.
Right. It's like he's inviting us to evolve alongside him with each album. You feel that, Evelyn?
Yes, Jiwoo, his diversity in music is like a reflection of life's own diversity, isn't it?
That's an interesting observation. But I wonder, does this shift in style and themes impact his listener base?
Well, Chris, good music, just like a good cocktail, always finds its takers. More than that, I believe it's this evolution that keeps his fans hooked. Wouldn't you agree, Jiwoo?
I do agree, Evelyn. It's how he keeps relevancy with his audience. His music evolves as he does, and this journey of his music is what makes him relatable.
And this journey of variation and evolution, it's something you see in successful startups as well. Constant upgradation to fit the market and user needs.
So whether it's music, cocktails, or startups, evolution in style, approach, and vision is the key to staying relevant. Interesting, isn't it? So let's unwrap Shape of You. The storytelling in this song, it feels like a flirty dance, doesn't it?
Definitely. The rhythmic catchiness makes you want to move, even if dancing isn't your thing. It's universally appealing. What about the lyrics, Chris?
Well, it's a brilliant example of Ed Sheeran's ability to create stories that resonate, painting a picture of sensuality and charm. But there's also an intelligence in the language he uses, seeing the beauty in the mundane. I'm in love with the shape of you.
That's such a unique perspective, Chris. You know, this song to me feels like a spicy, sensual cocktail, full of tantalizing ingredients that make you want more. It has that effervescence, that spunk, the perfect melody to dance to. Just like sipping your favorite drink.
Certainly, Evelyn. The rhythm, words, and the storytelling all create a sensory experience encased in a melody. And it's not just us. The song had this impact worldwide.
Precisely. Chris, if Shape of You was a startup, it would be the unicorn everyone wants to invest in. It's not just a product, it's an experience. And its global appeal, that says something about the designer, or in this case, the artist. Doesn't it?
What a remarkable connection, Jiwoo. Indeed, the universal appeal of Shape of You speaks volumes about Ed Sheeran's talent as a songwriter. He hit the right chords, linguistically and emotionally, much like how a successful startup addresses its user needs perfectly.
Indeed, with Shape of You behind us, it's time to delve into another favorite, Castle on the Hill. It's like an aromatic wine, refined with time and nostalgia, isn't it?
Castle on the Hill, to me, feels like a meticulously crafted blueprint. The song is a memoir of his youth, with every word painting a part of the landscape. He talks about smoking hand-rolled cigarettes, running from the law through the backfields, and friends he had grown up with. The meticulous construction of the narrative is masterful, much like a well-thought-out design.
I love that perspective, Jiwoo. And the landscape isn't just visual, it's emotional. When he sings, I'm on my way, driving at 90 down those country lanes, you can feel his longing for those simpler times. It's that sense of relatable nostalgia that resonates powerfully with listeners.
I feel you, Chris. Castle on the Hill is like a cocktail of memories. It's bittersweet, like sips of whiskey with hints of caramel, sparks of laughter, and the lingering scent of youth. You don't just listen to it, you live it.
Exactly, Evelyn. It's this detailed retrospection that strikes a chord with listeners. We all have our castle on the hill, a place, a time, a memory we hold dear. And in a way, Sheeran gives voice to that emotion.
Indeed, Jiwoo, Ed Sheeran truly managed to capture the essence of nostalgia, not just on an individual level, but in the collective memory of his audience, spanning different cultures and geographies. Castle on the Hill has become a drive down memory lane for many of us.
Diving into the A-Team, guys, there's an undeniably haunting beauty in its narrative, isn't there?
Absolutely. It's like an intricate blueprint, a delicate sketch of darker undertones of society. The portrayal of a woman's struggle with addiction, her descent into the bleak world of drugs, it's raw and painfully real.
And not just that. If you notice, Ed uses metaphorical language incredibly well in this song. He describes the girl as angel, a beautiful creature falling from the sky, but in reality, she's stuck in a devastatingly hard life. This irony makes the narrative even more poignant.
So true, Chris. And I wonder if his past as a street performer influenced these gritty, real-life inspirations. From observing people who might have been in similar situations.
That's worth contemplating, Evelyn. From an artist's standpoint, the narrative construction in the A-Team feels painstaking yet effortless. The painful reality is delivered in form of simplistic yet effective lyrics.
Without a doubt, Jiwoo. His approach to storytelling in the A-Team is a purely engrossing blend of grace and gravity, and it's that striking realism that's fueled its success.
All right, guys. Did you know Ed Sheeran's got a soft spot for felines?
You mean cats?
Exactly. He's got quite a few cats at home. Some even adopted from the streets and became Insta-famous.
Insta-famous cats. Really?
Really? He even made an Instagram account for them, filled with endearing shots of his furry friends. Talk about being a doting pet parent.
That's pleasantly amusing. Moving on, Jiwoo. I hear you've got something about his acting side.
Sure do, Chris. Who can forget his cameo in Game of Thrones? He played a singing soldier in the Lannister army. And yes, he was singing.
No surprise there. But Jiwoo, didn't he just lose his screen time to Arya's deadpan look?
Haha. Well, at least he didn't meet a grisly end like so many in that show. On a similar note, Chris, didn't Ed do a memorable cameo in a popular movie too?
Yes, indeed. Remember Bridget Jones's Baby? He was playing himself there. Even engaged in a bit of innocent flirting with Bridget at a music festival.
Now, that's some fun trivia. Singing in Westeros and flirting with Bridget Jones. Ed Sheeran, ladies and gentlemen. Shall we share our memories connected to Ed's music? I remember the first time I heard Shape of You. It was at this tiny bar in Seoul.
Oh, do tell.
Okay, so it was a chilly night and I just happened to pass by the bar. Seeing that it wasn't too crowded, I decided to drop by for a quick drink. As I was waiting for my drink, Shape of You started playing, and truth be told, I was pretty taken aback. The lyrics, the catchy rhythm, I was enthralled. Right then, I decided to explore more of Ed's music.
Wow, a casual night out leading you to the world of Sheeran. Nice one. But you know, what really made me fall for Sheeran's music was a team. I was still a college student working on my first startup. The lyrics resonated with my struggles, and ultimately, it became an anthem for my team and I.
Funny, Ed's music has a serendipitous way of attaching to people's life moments. I personally recall Castle on the Hill helped me through when I first moved to Seoul, feeling misplaced and all. His portrayal of his hometown comforted me in a way, and I distinctly remember feeling less lonely.
His music really does have a way of connecting with us on a personal level, and that's the beauty of it.
Absolutely. It's like he paints vivid imagery with his music that speaks to our individual experiences.
So let's dissect Ed Sheeran's songwriting. One striking characteristic is his ability to blur the lines between genres. If you listen carefully, his music melts pop, rock, folk, and occasionally, rap.
Incredibly, each of his songs has a unique sound, but they all manage to retain that Ed Sheeran style. How does he do it?
You're right, Chris. His song's diversity extends to a global scale. I read that Ed spent several months traveling and playing music in different countries. Perhaps this immersion influenced his wide-ranging style.
Besides the musical style, what also marks his songs are his storytelling techniques. His lyrics aren't just words, they are narratives, painting vivid pictures that resonate with the listener's emotions.
Speaking of narrative, I still don't quite grasp how he conveys complex emotions so simply. Shape of You, for instance, it's an intimate love song, but its catchy rhythm masks a deeper narrative.
That's the genius of Ed, isn't it? He strips away the complexities of love, focusing on simple yet impactful details. The line, "Your love was handmade for somebody like me," punches straight to the heart. Simplicity can be powerful.
Spot on, Evelyn. It's his raw and straightforward approach that makes his songs universally relatable. Each song seems like a personalized story, yet it could be anyone's tale. That's his artistry.
It's like he pours life into each note, making his songs rich with genuineness. There's something magnetic about the authenticity in his music. Definitely, his unique songwriting style lights up the current music scene.
So we all agree. Ed Sheeran is a master storyteller. But what about the themes, the emotions he consistently weaves into his music?
Just as you pointed out earlier, Evelyn, love is a major theme in Sheeran's songs. Be it the intoxicating sensation of falling in love or the bittersweet reminiscence of past romance, Sheeran beautifully captures all its dimensions.
Indeed, and he doesn't shy away from the darker side of love, loss. He has a way with words, making listeners feel the depth of his agony over heartbreak and longing.
That's true. Remember his song Happier? It's full of sadness yet beautifully poignant. Ain't nobody hurt you like I hurt you, but ain't nobody love you like I do. He beautifully juxtaposes guilt and undying love.
Of course, it's not just about love and loss, though. His songs like Castle on the Hill revolve around his deep bond with his friends and his roots. There's a sense of warmth, nostalgia, and authenticity in it that strikes a chord with everyone.
And can we just talk about his song What Do I Know? He's preaching love and positivity, even in the face of adversity. Isn't that brilliant?
Yes, Jiwoo. He's sparking a light of hope, urging listeners to stay positive and lead with love. He's always pushing that message out to his fans.
Absolutely, and that's what draws people in. Sheeran's music isn't just about catchy melodies and rhythmic beats. It's the emotional depth, the universal themes. That's the magic of Ed Sheeran.
Sheeran's music feels like a mosaic, doesn't it? Every song creating a piece, adding to the overall impact he's had on the pop scene.
Undeniably, and that's what's unique about him. Each song stands alone, but when you step back and look at the entirety of his discography, it's a beautiful tale of love, loss, friendship, and much more.
It's like he gathered an arsenal of sounds, challenging the norms of pop music, introducing folk and hip-hop elements, giving birth to something that's uniquely Ed Sheeran.
True. And don't you think he has inspired a new wave of artists to break away from stereotypes and experiment with music in ways unexpected before?
Absolutely. By using narrative-based lyrics and soulful melodies, he is encouraging young musicians to pursue unconventional paths and explore various lyric structures.
His influence is also evident in how his work has inspired other artists to weave stories into their songs, thus bringing more depth and personal connection into pop music. It's a ripple effect.
And his narratives don't just stay within the realm of music. They've permeated into pop culture, turning him into a global sensation. Isn't it truly fascinating?
Indeed, from a street performer to an artist who can fill stadiums, the essence of his journey is reflected in his music. And it becomes a part of the listener's journey too. His impact on the global music scene can't be overemphasized.
One of the reasons I believe Ed Sheeran's music appeals to so many people is the intricate narrative nature of his lyrics.
That's a fantastic point, Jiwoo. To elaborate, she's talking about songs like The A-Team and Castle on the Hill, where he weaves these wonderful stories, transporting us into his world.
That storytelling skill of his. It's not just about the story, it's about how he presents it. His lyrics are raw, real, and they touch you in a way that perhaps nothing else does.
And I think that rawness, that authenticity, it's hard to find in today's music, don't you think? You can sense the real emotions, struggles, happiness, everything, right within those lines.
Right, Evelyn. That's an element of his music that makes him so globally relatable. From teenagers to adults, everyone can find a piece of themselves in his songs, and that's a powerful thing.
Kind of like he's writing these vignettes of life, huh? I feel that this narrative approach, grounded in real-life experiences, has really set him apart from his contemporaries.
Another point I'd like to bring up. Have you noticed how brilliantly he uses metaphors? Often quite simple, but they hit you right in the heart.
That ability to create a universal, yet deeply personal emotional connection is, in my view, why he continues to top charts and break records.
Definitely, Chris. That's the charm of Sheeran. He has something for everyone. It's beautiful how he can touch so many lives with his words and melody.
Let's celebrate the man of the hour, Ed Sheeran, shall we? The power and reach of his music have touched lives globally.
Absolutely, Chris. He truly is a gem in the music industry. Did you know he won the Grammy for Best Pop Solo Performance for Shape of You?
Yes, and don't forget his Album of the Year win for Divide.
That's right. But guys, do you have a favorite Ed Sheeran album that you hold close to heart?
You know, Chris, I've always admired X, Multiply. There is a certain rawness to it that gets me every time, particularly in Thinking Out Loud.
For me, it has to be Plus or Plus. With tracks like The A-Team and Lego House, it's like a journey through Sheeran's formative years.
Interesting choices. I personally have a soft spot for Chas or Equals. The vulnerability and authenticity in Visiting Hours just resonates me on another level.
No matter the album, Sheeran's way of striking just the right emotional chord is undeniable, wouldn't you agree?
Without a doubt, Evelyn. It's a testament to his songwriting wizardry that, despite his monumental success, he remains as relatable now as he was at the start of his career.
Indeed. He wouldn't have achieved these heights without his immense talent and hard work.
His journey is a testament to all striving musicians out there who are trying to make a name for themselves. He's practically a real-life example of started from the bottom, now we here.
So true, Evelyn. Here's to more multifaceted albums from the lyrical genius himself. Keep 'em coming, Ed.
All right, let's wrap it up with a little trivia about our star, Ed Sheeran.
Oh, I have one. Did you know there's a story behind one of his famous tattoos?
You're talking about the lion one, aren't you?
Yes, the one that covers his entire chest. It's huge.
Exactly. It's the most prominent one, and he got it in celebration of his sold-out shows at Wembley Stadium in 2015.
Talk about a badge of honor. What about the ketchup bottle one? I heard it is because of his love for ketchup.
Yeah, that's true. He loves Heinz ketchup so much that he got it tattooed on his arm. Talk about dedication to a condiment.
I can see our listeners rushing to find out more about his tattoos. Now, let's dive into some of his lyrics.
Absolutely. Did you know the line, "Now my bedsheets smell of you" from Shape of You is about the scent of a particular brand of perfume?
Interesting. You mean the whole song is not just about body shapes?
Exactly. It's these cryptic metaphors that make deciphering his lyrics so intriguing. What about the line, "We watched the sunset over the castle on the hill"? Any idea?
Well, I read somewhere that the castle on the hill metaphorically represents his childhood and the longing for the simplicity of that time.
Indeed, missing the bliss of the past. Well, we could analyze every line from his songs, but alas, we're running out of time.
For sure. But this was a fun dive into his mind, tattoos, and his lyrics. Tune in to our next episode for more insights into your favorite musicians.